My name is Sara Beach. I'm the tutoring program coordinator for literacy volunteers of Franklin and Somerset counties. The mission of literacy volunteers is to empower adults through learner-based tutoring in reading, writing, math, and technology, and to promote literacy in our community. And we provide individual tutoring, virtual and in-person classes, free books in our Traveling Libraries program, and we work with other organizations to make sure their existing programming meets the needs of adult literacy learners. Part of what I do in the tutoring program is facilitate writing workshops. And today I'm going to do one of our writing workshops called Imagining Beautiful Futures with Lisa Laflin from Where's and Where's. This workshop was inspired by Audre Lorde's essay, Poetry is Not a Luxury. It was originally designed to be a self-care activity for folks in helping professions. A sign of being overstressed is a lack of access to future thinking, and this writing exercise can be used to practice thinking about the future in creative and flexible ways. So before we start writing together, would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, again, Lisa Laflin. I'm from New Vineyard, grew up in the area. I'm delighted to have supported literacy volunteers in the past in many different ways. I think you do terrific work. And I'm also a new owner of Where's and Where's, a high-end consignment store in Farmington.
Okay. So in this writing exercise, we are going to brainstorm together, write poetry, make some art, and end up with a little mini zine.
Love it.
And a mini zine is a little handmade folded booklet made from a single piece of paper. So here is a piece of paper for you, and here's a pen. And so we are gonna use half our paper for brainstorming and half for poetry writing, and then we're gonna turn it inside out and turn it into a mini zine. So I am gonna walk you through the whole thing,
okay.
And we're gonna use timers and move through it kind of quickly so it can be all done in half an hour.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we are gonna spend about 2 minutes brainstorming all of the ways you can think of to finish the sentence starter in the beautiful future. So kind of in the beautiful future, ... And I would definitely invite you to just kind of jot down ideas and phrases. You don't have to worry about sentences and grammar and all of that. It's more about getting out.
Handwriting.
Yes, it's more about getting ideas out. So, okay, you ready? Mm-hmm. 2 minutes.
Is it okay if I go past the halfway mark?
Yeah, that's fine. I have extra paper if you need it. So that was about 2 minutes. So we can kind of finish up. So I'm just curious, what came up in your brainstorming? Like,
Do you want me to read what I have?
you can share your list or anything that surprised you, or
How easy it is to envision a future because there's so much challenge in our world right now. So I would love to read what I...
yeah, please.
So in the beautiful future, we will have art for all to enjoy. We will not have weather extremes. Our world will embrace diversity. We will have justice. We will be able to feed all who are hungry. Our ability to listen to each other will have been strengthened, and we will have enough.
Wow. That idea of challenges making that imagining more clear is really interesting to me. I think it's easy to think of a challenge as a roadblock instead of like a bridge, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been called a Pollyanna. Maybe that reflects it.
No. So mine is much more abstract. I lost these scissors in the woods like 3 years ago, and my neighbor just found them kind of randomly. And so I'm thinking a lot, I guess everything that came up for me was kind of around how things settle into place eventually. I am still missing a pocket knife in the same woods. I don't know if that will come back to me. And then last summer, I lost a ring at Pemaquid Point. And I'm just thinking about all of those losses and how they settle into place somehow, whether it's finding things or making peace with the loss, I guess.
And some of those things we lose aren't tangible items, too. And we need to make peace with those, too.
That's very true. Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see.
Okay. So next thing that we're going to do is we are going to spend 4 minutes turning these ideas into a poem. And by a poem, I mean arranging words to express an idea or ideas in a way that is pleasing to you and meaningful to you. So this is your poem. It needs to hold your ideas, be pleasing to you and meaningful to you, but you don't have to write it for anybody else.
Okay.
And I would also, maybe you wrote a beautiful poem on your first try, and that's always wonderful when it happens, but maybe you want to rearrange stuff or take some of the ideas out of it. But that's up to you, but we'll spend about 4 minutes doing that. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions?
No.
So 4 minutes. have about a minute left, just so you know. But this isn't the end either. So that's about 4 minutes. How do you feel about your poem? Do you feel like you finished or might still have a little work to do? Is there anything you want to share?
Finished? I don't know about finished, but
that's a big word.
I got there.
Yeah.
And I struggled with what I had written previously in, very systematic list form to a poem. But I'll read what I struggled with and came up with. So I called my poem A Beautiful Future. Okay. Envisioning the future starts, stops, questions, where to start. Challenges provoke thoughts on art, weather, justice, diversity, food security, listening, and I pause, wondering, when do we have enough? Hope begins with us. I begin with me. A beautiful future awaits.
Wow. It's so interesting. Like, one thing that I love about getting to do this process with people is I love your poem, and then I also love knowing kind of what came before it, that bunch of thoughts that came before it, and it just makes it so much like more dimensional for me and rich. That's one thing that I really love about writing with people.
And I think it helps to have done that prior too.
So mine also doesn't super feel finished, but I think maybe this is how it goes. Having a future is beautiful. One thing that makes the future beautiful is having more things to figure out. One way to know that you are in the future is that things that didn't make sense now. And one way to know you are in the future is that painful things are just tender. So that's kind of,
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you share any of this list? Which would help?
Yeah. So it's a lot about my scissors. My scissors came back to me. Yeah. They were lost in the woods. And settling into a place for every loss and every loss in its place, and a settling sense, making loss not sadness. So those were some of the brainstorming lines.
Now I see the connection too. That's neat.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love your tenderness.
I don't think everything always has to be okay. I think it can be tender, but it doesn't have to be painful all the time, I guess. So now we're going to turn our brainstorming and our poems into a mini-zine. Have you ever made a mini-zine before?
No.
Okay. So I like to use the same paper that I wrote on, because we're going to turn it inside out and fold it into a mini-zine, and all of my thoughts are like a secret inside it, and I like that. So we're folding our papers in half, and then with the fold at the top, we're just going to fold it again. So kind of into quarters the short way and crease the top. But then open it up and hold it with a fold at the top. And then we're going to fold the edges into the middle and crease it again. And so you can see there's kind of this line right here. And we're going to cut through to this fold. So kind of like
With the magic scissors.
With the scissors that have come back to me after so many years. I got those at Rennie's probably 20 years ago.
I think I know what this is going to look like. I've always wondered how some of these books that I see.
So I just kind of cut this halfway, and then if you open it up, I have my words facing me, and so we're gonna fold it the long way this time. And we have this like little mouth, which we're gonna mush up into a plus sign like this. So mush, and then if you just kind of press the sides down and fold it over.
Okay, hold on. You lost me here.
Okay.
Which side?
All right.
And does it matter which way
it doesn't super matter, but it's, so you are doing it. And now you have a mini zine with a front cover, 3 spreads of pages, and a back cover. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our poems or the ideas from our poems or parts of them into a mini zine. And we're gonna spend about 8 minutes doing that. I have crayons and wax pencils and colored pencils, markers. These are watercolor colored pencils. You can dip them in water if you would like to go there. And I have watercolors. Sure. So we're gonna spend about 8 minutes doing this.
And it's reflecting what we wrote. Sort of, ish.
Yes, you could just transcribe your poem into your mini zine if you wanted to. Okay. You could add art. And just like your brainstorming turned into a poem, you can bring some thoughts and ideas, or all of them, into these pages. And then we have art stuff if you want to add art as well.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So we're going to spend about 8 minutes doing that, and I am going to kind of just give you a heads up every 2 minutes, which is not to rush you. That's just to orient you in time. Okay? All right. Here we go. I love that you went right for the watercolors.
As much as Amber would like to have paint on her tablecloth, it might not be a good idea. So it's been about 2 minutes. 2 minutes goes by fast.
Right?
Thank you.
So it's been about another 2 minutes. Been about another 2 minutes, so we have about 2 more minutes.
No pressure.
No pressure.
I haven't used fans in a long time. I want to keep doing that.
So
Gonna make me stop?
we're just about at time, but I mean, this is not the end. No. But yeah, no, take.
No, I'm good.
Please finish.
I have a bad habit of not stopping when I should. When I paint or anything, it's like, oh, I should have stopped earlier. All right.
Okay. Are you ready? Do you want to go first or shall I?
You can go.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I didn't even do my covers.
that's okay. So just a reminder, like this is not the only future that you get.
Yes, good thing.
You can do this as many times as you want to. You get to start over and imagine a new future whenever. So mine, I mostly used these little wax pencils, and so the cover says, "Having a future is beautiful." And when you have things to figure out, that means you have a future. When things that didn't make sense, you are in a beautiful future. When things that were painful are just tender, that's a beautiful future too. And then on the back, I wrote, "The past was a beautiful future, and the beautiful future will come to pass."
Wow. Wait. Wow. Okay. Well, as you can see, I failed the magazine zine
there's
test.
no failing.
I got so caught up with the artwork. 'Cause
Fabulous brushwork.
I really love watercolor. So, A, bright future is possible.
That's lovely. That's very lovely.
I can't believe that took as long as it did. Now that I look at it. 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 8. Oh my gosh.
8 minutes is a long time and not a long time.
And I love what you said, that we could start over.
This is not the only future that you get to imagine. And you can imagine as many as you want to, as many times as you would like. And I guess I would also say sometimes thinking about stuff and making art can bring up big feelings. So I would also just encourage folks to share any big feelings that come up with safe people in your lives.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Support for Beautiful Futures comes from these generous sponsors: Skowhegan Savings, Franklin County Children's Task Force, Maine Retirement Annuities, the Rotary Club of Farmington, and by viewers like you. Thank you. Beautiful Futures was recorded on location at Twice Sold Tales in Farmington, Maine.